afternoon. This is Keith with Profit Lifter. Today we are going to help you get your emails into the inbox, because what's the good of an email campaign if no one sees it? So that's what we're going to be covering today. We've got a lot of stuff to go through, a lot of great slides, a lot of great content for you today. So if you have any questions while we're going through this, make sure to share it in the comments, and I will be watching it and make sure that we are answering your questions and making sure you have everything you need to get out there and dominate your market. So let's hop in and get rolling. All right, we're going to be talking about mastering email deliverability. This is a guide for email marketing. What we're going to cover is just about everything that's included with email delivery. I know these are usually 30 minutes, but there's a lot of content we put together for you today. So this may be a little bit longer than normal, but it's fun. It's worth it. This is really important for sending emails, everything. Like if you're not paying attention to your email delivery, you're missing it. You're missing what's going to happen. So let's start by understanding email deliverability. Email deliverability means ensuring the message actually gets to the inbox rather than hitting spam. Nothing is more frustrating than spending hours crafting the perfect email, the perfect campaign, all the automations, just for it to end up in a spam box. That's a terrible experience for you and your leads, and the people who need your services are missing what's going on. So it requires technical and content expertise to make this happen. But we're going to show you kind of what this looks like, how it all looks, what you need to be paying attention to, and some of the things that you could be doing right now to be able to beef up your email deliverability. So some of the key metrics that we're going to be looking over as we're going through this is going to be track open rates, meaning how many people are actually opening your emails, bounce rates, how many email addresses are not good or bouncing, spam complaints, that's a biggie, unsubscribe rates. These are kind of your KPIs, your core performance index for your email deliverability. Because at the end of the day, poor delivery means wasted market dollars. I mean, that's really it. Wasted opportunities. And when you start getting into if you're looking in the small numbers for right now, every email counts, every delivery counts. If you're looking at big numbers, you start looking at it more based on percentages. And at that point, every percentage matters. And that is the goal, is to get in front of as many people as you can, as often as you can, tastefully, and make sure that they're seeing the content that you're delivering. All right, so what's the first key? First key is really simple. Build a clean email list. Sorry, my face is covering up the last word list, but building a clean email list. Now, there's several ways that you can do this, but the first thing is implement a double opt-in, meaning that you require email confirmation after a sign-up. Now, I don't build this out organically with our pre-built systems, because this is something that a double opt-in is going to lower the amount of people who opt in, but it will build a healthy list, meaning that the more people who are doing this double opt-in or opting in after they fill out the information, the number is going to be lower, but your list is going to be a lot more active. It's going to be good people who are really interested, that are taking the time to go, yes, this is my email. And what this does is it requires an email confirmation after they sign up. And this just helps to make sure that you're not getting spam email addresses, and you're not spending your hard-earned time and money on sending out emails to people that are just giving you spam email addresses. Next point is regular list cleaning. Regular list cleaning is actually something that we're building out as a snap-on for you guys. But what you want to do is remove inactive subscribers and bounced emails at least quarterly, meaning that if somebody unsubscribes, you don't need them in your database any longer. If they've got a bad email address and it bounces, you don't need them in there. You can't contact them. I love this line: quality beats quantity every time. So focus on the quality of what's happening. Focus on the quality of your list, not just necessarily the quantity. Next is going to be strategic segmentation. Now, we covered this just a couple weeks ago, talking about your smart list and how to manage your contact list and how to manage your database with smart lists. This is your segment. This is your segments. Group subscribers by engagement levels, purchase history, and preferences. Targeted messages boost relevance. Now, what this means is that, like, if you're like, I'm going to use Profit Lifter as an example because it's the business I'm the most intimate and have the most knowledge on. If we, with our list segmentation, what we're doing is we're looking at it going, hey, these people are interested in building websites. These people are interested in leads. These people are interested in sales funnels. That way, when we have an email, or if we're doing a promo, like let's say we do a discount on websites, or we roll out some sort of bonus for buying a website. Now we can go into that list and specifically target them and email them directly because we know that they're the highest intent, meaning that our engagement rate should be much higher. And not only that, but it should also mean that we'll get more purchases because the people who want to see it are seeing it, they're engaging with it, and actually taking action with it. So make sure that you're keeping your list clean. Double opt-in is a great option, great way to keep in touch with people. Make sure that you've got a good list. Make sure that you've got relevant emails, and segment. Make sure that you got your smart list in order and work through everything that you need to, and keeping track of it. And here's a little secret: there's no magic number of how many smart lists you should have. This should be something that, based off of, like, engagement is one, like having at least 3 different levels, like highly engaged, kind of engaged, and not engaged at all. Purchase history is pretty straightforward. If they're a client, you want to have a segmented list for them, and a preference of what kind of products they're looking at buying. All right, next up, building a clean email list. We've already seen this one, haven't we? Authentication and security. This is going to be the technical work that happens inside of the system. So what this is going to look like is these are going to be really 3 different records that you need to have listed on your domain name. This is going to be your SPF record. Nope, this does not mean sunscreen. It doesn't mean how well it's going to block the sun. It means sender policy framework. And this validates the emails that it's coming from authorized sending servers. Basically, what it's doing is it's going in and looking and going, are you a real company? Is this a real business this is coming from? Or is this a spam email that's just going out and hitting everybody? Next is going to be your DKIM signatures, which means domain keys, identified mail. And what this does is it adds a digital signature to verify the content hasn't been altered in transit. Meaning, and this is a little TXT or a text record that you put inside of your domain. And basically what it does is it verifies your identity. It verifies that the identity that you send that email from has not been altered by the time it hits their inbox. This is a really big one. If you do not have your DKIM signature set up, your email records are really going to go away. The good news is most of this stuff is actually automated in Profit Lifter, meaning you're not going to have to go through and try to figure out, how do I set up a DKIM record? How do I set up a DMARC? Like, this is a one-time thing that you should be doing during your onboarding calls with us to get everything set up. And the last one is your DMARC policy. And DMARC is domain-based message authentication. And what this does is it combines your SPF and your DKIM to protect your domain reputation. And again, it's a text record, very geeky, just it's a bunch of code. And again, these are all 3 of these should be set up in your email delivery when you're setting up your dedicated domains. All right, next, content that reaches inboxes. Now, this is going to get into the text side. The text, not the tech, the actual content that you're writing, that you're putting out there. There are some things that will absolutely tank your delivery rate. So the first thing you want to do is avoid trigger words. And these are bad words. Like that, if they see these words coming across in the email, they're going to instantly just kind of shut it out, going, it's too spammy. And this is going to be things like free, urgent, guarantee, excessive punctuation also raises red flags, which I hate because I love using ellipsis while I'm writing stuff. But this is what you want to be careful of, is not sounding too infomercially. Now, when you're looking to avoid trigger words, there's ways that you can include the not necessarily free, but if you've got something that's free, you can say, hey, we have a giveaway when you get started, or this is included at no cost when you get started. If you say urgent, this is and we've all seen these emails that comes across as urgent. Your inbox is about to explode. That's what it's trying to avoid. It's avoiding the high use, high manipulation emails. Now, when you think about this and you look at the next one, which is balanced text and images, make sure that what we're basically saying here is emails with only images often land in spam folders, meaning that while you're putting together your emails, you want to be very cognizant of the content that you're writing, and then actually having the content written out in there and your images with it. If you just have images, if you're going to use images, you've got to make sure that you have text around it that is explaining the images and all of that, because what they're trying to avoid is having images in there that are using like these trigger words and all of this. Now, how do you make sure that you're staying healthy? One way is inside of your Profit Lifter account over the next month or two, you're actually going to see an email health delivery under your campaign settings, meaning when you go in to send out a campaign, it's going to show you the health of this. But overall, what you want to think about is, how are you communicating with your clients? Meaning that if you're taking an approach that is just high sales pitch, using emotionally manipulating words, free, urgent, guarantee, things like that, this is what they want to avoid. They want emails to be used almost like how you use them internally with different office or with people on your team, meaning that they want to see just casual, not more casual, and it can be polished, but it's more about giving information. It's more about providing content that is relevant, that is not designed just to sell them, but they're actually engaging with. Because at the end of the day, the more that people are engaging with your emails, the better your sender rate's going to be. If they're opening it, if they're staying on it, if they're not counting it as spam, they're going to like it. And we've all been there where we get these high sales emails and we're like, look, I don't want to be sold every time I open up my inbox. If I open up an email, if I subscribe to an email list, it means that I find something that you are doing or have or content incredibly valuable enough to give away my email address. And I want people to respect that. And everybody else feels the same way. So avoid words, avoid the manipulation, and just speak to people with real good content. And again, if you're going to use images, make sure that you're having a balance in there. You don't want to just send out an image. And there are emails and there are people who will try to send emails that will just create everything on an image and then embed that image into the email. That's what you want to avoid. And lastly, mobile optimization. Ensure your emails look great on smartphones. Over 60% of emails are open on mobile devices. If you're right now inside of your email builder and Profit Lifter, it is automatically mobile optimized, but it will also let you go through and look at it in mobile view so that you can just make sure that everything looks right, that it's actually showing up the way that you want it to. But most people who are going to look at your emails are going to be doing it from a mobile device. So make sure it's mobile optimized. Make sure that it looks good and does what it needs to do. Sorry, I'm clicking buttons there on the wrong page. Next, sender reputation. Now, this gets a little bit tricky because this actually starts to turn into almost an algorithm of what you want, of what you're looking for, and how to interact with your email. So your sender reputation management, is pretty simple to understand. A stellar reputation is going to get you prime inbox placement, meaning that it's going to show up in the inbox, not as a promotion, but actually in the inbox, and it's going to skip. It's not going to end up in spam. That's what you're looking for. But to get there, there's some things that you need to do. Consistent sending volume, regular, predictable sending patterns. Let the email providers know that you're not just out there sending tons of spam. Now, the sender reputation management happens on two sides. One, it happens on your server side where the email is coming out from, but it also happens on the receiving wow, my brain just went bright. The receiving server side, meaning that if you're sending emails to, like, let's say Yahoo, and you've got like 100 people in your list that have Yahoo accounts. If Yahoo spots that you just sent out 20 emails in a 1 hour time span, they're going to just immediately block you from anybody that you're sending emails to. So you want to make sure that you have a consistent sending volume, because when it starts to spike, that's when it starts to become suspicious. It was when you're like, now you're sending 100,000 emails where you consistently send 1,000. To do this actually takes like warming up, which we'll get into here in just a little bit, but it also has to do with ramping up, or putting it into a drip campaign, meaning that instead of sending out 100,000 emails all at one time, you may segment it and say, hey, we're going to send this 1,000 at a time every hour. Now your email server is looking at this going, okay, yep, this is more predictable. This is more consistent. It's not just these random spikes in data being sent out. Next, you want to make sure that you're using recognizable sender names. Do not ever send out an email from a different business name with your email. It will instantly get flagged, meaning that if I'm sending an email from profitlifter.com or mail.profitlifter.com or whatever my dedicated sending domain is, I need to make sure that it matches, that it says Profit Lifter, not that it says, oh, sign up for Genie Sites and then Profit Lifter. Like, it doesn't, it's just common sense here. And you want people to see your business name. You want to stay top of mind, because the people who don't open your emails, if they see it's from your business name, even if they don't open it, you're still buying space in their brain. You're still just going, hey, we're here. We're happy to help. Let us know how we can. And then the last one, engagement monitoring. Watch your tracking opens, watch your clicks, watch your complaints. And we had talked about this before, but this all plays into your sender reputation management. Meaning, like we have a client that we've been working with this morning, and this is on the text, the SMS side, and I've dealt with this too many times. But what happened is they went out, they bought a list, they just started texting everybody on the list. They're like, well, they opted in for the list. They didn't opt in with you. They don't know you. And now you're out there emailing and texting people who have never asked for you to email them and text them. Now, Keith, how does this relate to cold emails? That's such a wonderful question. Cold email campaigns are going to work completely different than your warm email campaigns. Warm email campaigns referring to emails that you have recently or that have opted in with you. They're expecting to hear from you. They know who you are. You're not some stranger just randomly blowing up their inbox. So with cold email campaigns, you want to use just a completely different domain name than your warm. So for example, I use profitlifter.com to send our emails to our leads that have opted in and our clients. When we're doing cold email campaigns, it may come from profitlifter.xyz. It may come from profitlifter.info. Like, we've got over 20 different Profit Lifter name domains that we bought on GoDaddy just so we could have all these for email campaigns, because it's, again, recognizable sender name. Because that's how you get people to get to know you, is when you're not hiding your name, you're not hiding who you are and what you do. But again, watch your engagement rates, watch your tracking your opens, your clicks, your complaints. All of this is going to go a long way for your sender reputation, making sure that everything's dialed in, and making sure that you're hitting the inbox. And pushing buttons again, one more time. Okay, next. Timing and frequency. And what does this have to do with email delivery? One, the goal is your metrics. Remember, our goal is open rates, clicks, and avoiding complaints. Testing your send times is going to help you find optimal engagement windows, meaning that I know that we work in a business to business space. And a lot of our target demographic are people who are starting businesses. They may be new. They may already have a job that they're working, but then they're coming to us trying to start a side hustle or start a new business. So I know that the more that we email them in the afternoons, in the evening times, we get higher open rates because a lot of them are already working second or their full-time job and they're starting something different. Now, if you're working with bigger companies maybe that are the SMB market, small to mid, that are running millions of dollars, these people are full-time in their job. So with that, I would actually focus more on a 9 to 5 window because you're gonna get more people opening it. You're gonna get more people engaging with you because they're in front of their computer. Again, monitor response rates. Now, a response rate is actually a little bit different than any of the other rates we've talked about. A response rate has to do with when you're sending out an email, are they responding back? Because people who respond back are high intent, but you want to monitor that. You want to track your open times, track the clicks, monitor how people are responding. And then from there, adjust your frequency. Prevent subscriber fatigue. I cannot express this enough. I cannot stand when a company will send me 3, 4, 5 emails in a day. That is the fastest way for me to unsubscribe from you. And I'm okay with it the first 2 or 3 days. Like, I get it. It's a new relationship. There's a lot they're trying to give me. And if I'm opting in for something or like a lead magnet, a download, something like that, obviously like my communication levels are going to be much higher. Or if I do like a trial, my communication levels are going to be a whole lot higher because like there's stuff to do. But for your leads, you don't want to be just bombarding them with all of these emails. You're going to fatigue them, and they're going to get to a point like, man, I'm just constantly having to delete profit lifter emails. I'm just going to unsubscribe, or I'm going to count it as spam. So just make sure that you're watching your frequency and adjust it so that you're not over sending and not just wearing your subscribers out. Next, re-engagement campaigns. Re-engagement campaigns are specific. They're not going out to everybody, but they're reactivating dormant subscribers. And this is the strategy that I would actually use right before you clean out your email list, meaning that in your list segmentation, you may look at this and go, hey, these people are going through my re-engagement campaign. And then, once they re-engage, whether they reply, they click, they open, something like that, then I'm going to move them back into a different smart list because now they're active again. But these are going to feel a little more personal. These are like, hey, are we breaking up? Like, hey, you don't write, you don't call, you don't text anymore. Things like that that feel a lot more personal. These type of re-engagement campaigns get people to open your emails, and even if they're not replying back or taking the action on there, the fact that they're opening it is enough for me to go, okay, you know what? Now their email is going to look at this, go, okay, it's a relevant email, and it's going to keep showing up in the inbox. But the days of just emailing people 3, 4, 5 times a day, all the time, they're over. Like, you don't want to do that, especially now with AI inside of emails. Like, it's going to spot it and be like, yeah, you don't want to read this, and it's gonna skip it pretty quick for you. So the best send times, all of this is going to vary by industry. It's going to vary by audience. You want to test different days, find times to find your sweet spot and honor frequency preferences to maintain trust. Don't just get all excited and be like, I thought of a great idea. Let's send an email when you just sent them one that morning. Just be strategic about it. Be methodical, and just don't run and jump whenever you need to. That's the same one. All right, personalization strategies. So this is going to help your open rates. This is going to help your engagement rates. Dynamic content, customize emails with subscribers' names, recent purchases, and browsing behaviors. Personalized messages see a 29% higher open rates. Let me say it again. Personalized messages see 29% higher open rates. And this means using your short codes for like contact names inside of your email titles. This gets people excited. This makes them go, oh, he's talking to me. I want to see what he's having to say. Next is going to be a behavioral trigger. Send automated emails based on specific action. Here are some examples. Welcome series. When somebody opts in, sending them a welcome series. That's a behavioral trigger. A cart abandonment, meaning they go into your cart, they don't purchase. Sending an abandoned cart sequence is completely fine. It makes sense. Another one that you can trigger right from your Profit Lifter account is a page view. Like, let's say you put together a new website page and you're talking about how to get leads for your business, and somebody goes to it. From there, you want to start, you would want to start a behavioral trigger campaign based off them going to that specific page. Why? Because this is relevant in content that they are looking for. If they're on your website, if they're browsing through a page and they hit a specific page, you want to capitalize on them looking at that page by sending them information based on their viewing history, based on their activities that they're actually taking. Last one is going to be localization. Adapt content for different regions and languages. Account for cultural differences and time zones when scheduling. I think this has more to do with like an international schedule. But if you know that there are people, if there are different regions, different demographics, different ways of talking with people, you can start segmenting your emails based off of that. You can create different lists of going, hey, this is all in Texas. Okay, the header is going to be, hey, y'all, or whatever. Like, no offense to you, Texans. Love you guys. Love Texas. But this is what you want. This is one of the things that you want to be thinking about. And again, if you're just doing business in the US, this isn't going to be as relevant to you. But as you start looking at international markets, this is going to go a long way with languages. And even in the US, if you've got people who speak Spanish, send them emails in Spanish. There's no rules that say you can't do that. It's a great way for you to show that you're trying to take care of their needs as well as anybody else who's engaged with it, as well as all of your clients. Next point, A/B testing for optimization. Subject line testing. Compare different approaches to improve open rates. Test length, personalization, and emotional appeal. Having different split tests for open rates is going to go a long way for seeing how things are going to perform. It's going to see who's opening based on what. Next, you want to look at content variations. Try different layouts. Have images in different spots. Put your content, style your content differently. Use different images. Even just change the content that's involved in what you're saying. It can still be the same theme, just written differently. Small changes can create significant results. The last thing that you want to look at for your A/B testing for optimization is your call to action experiments. Test your different button colors, placement, wording, and optimize for maximum click-through rates. Now, how do you do this if you're running one email campaign? Like, let's say you want to run a single email campaign for an upcoming webinar that you're going to do. The way this would work is you would segment off a list of your business that's going to be your testers. And this may be people that are consistently opening, but I would actually just put in kind of all three of my engagement categories in there. But I would have a segment that just sends out like 1,000 and have maybe 2 or 3 of them and split test with that 1,000 to see which one performs best. Then take your optimized version and send that to everybody. And what you're doing is you're optimizing for the masses at that point. And this is a great way to approach your split testing with emails is take a small segment and test different subject lines, your content variations, your call to actions. test them out, see what performs the best. And then from there, take what you learn and then use that for your big campaign that's going out to everybody. The more you can optimize, the more money you're going to make, the more conversions you're going to get. And I mean, that's the name of the game. That's why we do this. All right. Now, this has a big impact on your delivery. This is going to be your compliance and legal considerations. This is what you want to keep an eye on when you're putting together your list, or even inside of your actual email. First, obtain clear consent. Get explicit permission before sending marketing materials. Document when and how consent was given. If they're opting in on your Profit Lifter account, that's handled. You've got all that. But again, if they're not expecting to hear from you, they probably don't want to hear from you, or at least they don't know that they want to hear from you. But when you're working on your warm emails, this isn't a cold email practice, but your warm emails, make sure that they have opted in. Make sure that that you have consent. Next, include unsubscribe options. If they cannot find a way to unsubscribe from you, they are going to report you as spam. Make unsubscribing easy. Why? Keith, that's going to ruin my list. They're not a part of your list. You just have their name and email address. They don't want to hear from you. If they're trying to unsubscribe, they're not interested in what you're pitching, which is okay. Go out and get more people. Make it easy for them to unsubscribe. You only want people who are active. You only want hot, interested people involved in your list that you are actively marketing to. Next is going to be maintain accurate records. Document consent, preferences, communication history. Be prepared for regulatory inquiries, especially if you get shut down. You have got to be able to show them, how did this person find me? Where did they opt in? How have we communicated with them? What have we said? Listen, just because you get somebody to opt in doesn't mean you have permission to do everything with them. It's like dating. Just because somebody agrees to go on a date doesn't mean they're ready to move in with you. It's the same thing with email marketing. If somebody opts in, they go, hey, yeah, I'm interested, I'll talk to you, does not mean that they want to hear everything that you're doing, see everything. Like, just be respectful of other people's time, their space, and what they're doing inside of their lives and business. And update privacy policies. Clearly explain how you collect and use subscriber data. Transparency builds trust. We've got some pretty aggressive privacy policies inside of your built in with Profit Lifter in the websites. We try to make sure that you're taken care of there, but it doesn't hurt to go through and look at it. Make sure that you're okay with your privacy policies. Make sure that you know that they're there. And you always have to have privacy policies. Don't ever try to send emails without having privacy policies, because they'll flag you as spam. They'll shut you down in a heartbeat. You want to make sure that you have your updated privacy policies and everything is in line there. All right. Choosing the right ESP. This is going to be your internet, or this is going to be where you're sending your emails from. Robust analytics. Check. Profit Lifter. Select platforms offering detailed delivery metrics. Look for inbox placement, testing, and engagement reporting. You've got all of that in your Profit Lifter account. Automation tools. Choose ESPs with sophisticated workflow builders. Absolutely. Best in the business. Automation increases efficiency and results. Deliverability features. Prioritize providers with built-in authentication, list cleaning, and reputation monitoring tools. Check, check, and check for Profit Lifter. You're winning all of these. But if for some crazy reason you're not using Profit Lifter, or you decide not to, make sure that whatever email sending provider that you're using has these tools. If you can't see what your metrics look like, if you can't automate your delivery, and if you can't make sure that your deliverability is actually done and according to standards, it's probably not the best email sending provider for you. All right, let's create an action plan for better delivery. Next, number one, first, we want to implement authentication. Set up your SPF, DKIM, DMARC within 30 days. Get this done. This is critical. Again, if you've been through your onboarding with Profit Lifter, we handle this for you on the onboarding, setting up your dedicated domain. Number two, some of you guys need to do this. I've seen the inside of your data list. Clean your list, remove inactive subscribers quarterly, at a minimum quarterly. The other thing you can do is you can set up automations that if somebody unsubscribes, that you just delete the contact record. No need to have them in there. They're a waste of space at that point. And I love you if you're a waste of space, but you're still a waste of space in my email list. Optimize your content, test and refine, avoid spam triggers. And then lastly, monitor performance, track your deliverability metrics weekly. This is a great use for your dashboard inside of Profit Lifter to monitor your email performance. You can see how it's working, what's going on. But if you start with these fundamental steps to improve your deliverability, each improvement compounds for better results. And remember, deliverability is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time fix. I can tell you that some of the people that I respect most in this space have ran into major deliverability issues, and meaning that like they had sent out messages, and then all of a sudden they just got slammed with violations, and they were sending out hundreds of thousands of emails. And it just really set back their business for like a month or two, because they had to go in, they had to rebuild their domain reputation, rebuild all of their records. And like it was this massive undertaking. And the problem was that while they were going through this, they were losing leads, because that's how they were converting people, was all the people opted into their email list. Because look, at the end of the day, running ads is amazing. Buying leads is great. Like, all these things are essential, but you convert people that are in your list with emails. That's how you deliver your content. That's how they interact with you. Email delivery is one of the most important parts of your business. And if you're not paying attention to it, you're missing all of these different ways, all of these different sales and opportunities, because nobody is seeing what you're doing. So make sure your email deliverability is on point. If you have any questions, if you need more insight on a specific topic that we covered today, make sure you comment in this video. Let us know how we can help. And until next time, have a great week. Hope your emails hit all of the inboxes, and hope you get a 95% open rate, and you just absolutely kill it over this next week with your email delivery. And if you guys need any help with anything else, feel free to reach out to us at profitlifter.com. We're always here.